made a few adjustments since the last video to bit rate and volumes, but you might not notice. Just tried to make them a little bit nicer. I'm going to actually try and get started playing a mission now. As for pilots, we're going to take Beast, Hawk, and Lynx. Hunter is our best pilot, but we're not going to need him for these early missions. Try and skill up our other guys. Okay, classified. We don't share this with anyone outside the inner sphere. Operation 1, Mission 1. Liberate work camps. Destroy Camp Alpha HQ and Natural Gas Tower. Destroy all 3 garrison buildings at the garrison base. Destroy Camp Beta HQ and Guard. They're labeled on the map. Our objectives. You have a very nice map of the area. Unlike other RTS games, you don't get to see anything of an area before you drop into it. F1 is where we'll start. That means Force Group 1 here. You can have up to 12 mechs or vehicles. Sometimes they will not drop in the same location. But for now, just have 3. They'll drop in one group. You'll notice that the game is tracking the weight. 80 out of 85 tons. You want to use as much as that as possible every time you drop on a mission, or you're going to be handicapped. You could be undergunned on the mission. If you don't cap the weight, however, you get paid a bonus for every 5 tons underweight. So we'll actually get paid a bonus here for being 80 out of 85. But since we can't buy any mechs or vehicles, and we don't have room for them anyway, there's no way to get the other 5 tons here. Let's see. Actually, they do give us a swift win. So if there was another slot, I could actually slot that, but we're not going to need it anyway. I'm going to read this. Smoke Jaguars have been putting dissident members of the population into work and re-education camps. Zulu Company, which is us, has been tasked with the liberation of 2 such camps designated Alpha and Beta. I don't remember if I said it in the first video or not, but the first Davion guards attacking this planet is in 3 companies. X-Ray, Yankee, and Zulu Company, and you play Zulu Company. She said at the start, the lady from the F&B, that X-Ray Company was pretty much wiped out as soon as it started. We have Yankee, which is supposedly doing its own missions, but they're not going to play a large part in the campaign. Since Zulu is the player-controlled company, they'll be doing basically all the work in the campaign. I have to click and drag these scroll bars because these are the days before mouse wheels. When I originally played these games back then, we didn't even have a mouse wheel, and we had a ball inside the mouse. So now I have a mouse wheel and I can't use it because the games don't recognize it. But for me, it's not really a problem because I've always been in the habit of clicking on these when I originally played the game. Or all of them, I should say. Let's see. At Alpha, destroy the Camp HQ building and natural gas tower, but do so carefully as the gas tower is highly volatile and will explode. And this is one of the few warnings you'll get about explosive gas in this game. This will become more important later, but if you're near something like that explodes, they can instantly bomb a mech. You don't want to be near that when it goes off. You'll see what I mean when I get over here to it. At Beta, eliminate any guarding combat units and destroy the HQ building. Will do. Additionally, the local bondsman forces must be dealt with. Destroying the 3 garrison buildings of their base camp will help to ensure our control of the area. You got it. Battalion transport is only to carry 3 mechs into the engagement area. Well, that's perfect since we only have 3 mechs. Analyze the tactical map and plan accordingly. Not much planning is needed on this mission, but it will be very important soon. Use the terrain available to get a better view of the enemy and potential targets. That's their way of saying to use mountains. Mountains are very important in this game so that you get sight of the terrain. Automated turret defense is reported in the area. Clan Uller Omni-Mech reported in the area. So they're just warning us of other things. This mission is the closest thing you'll get to a tutorial. Although it's not really a tutorial, it is a mission in which you can fool around and there's not really any threats or dangerous fights that you have to worry about. So let's drop into the mission and get this started. Watch the load time.
Commencing deployment.
1, 2, 3, done. Right from the start, we've got some detections. You can see on the map, we have our radar. You don't reveal the terrain. Before the mission drops, you can see the map, but when you drop into the map, you have to reveal the terrain. Like other RTS games. There is no fog of war, however, so once you reveal, it will stay revealed permanently. There, okay, we do have our objectives highlighted, so we have an idea of where to go. As we move, our sensor range will decay. When you run, it decays even more. So yeah, they're constantly going to report back. You just have to get used to that. I always thought that was cool, but it might eventually get irritating when you've heard them do it 100 times.
My sensors have a new contact.
They're saying that they detect something. And they were detecting that. This is a puny enemy armored car. Has a basic laser on it. It's not even a threat for a commando, really. But you will take some damage fighting it. This is a sports car, no weapons, but for whatever reason, it's red on the mini-map, which means it'll count as a kill. So, who wants to get some XP killing it? There you go.
Got it, sir.
Actually, no, let's let Beast do it.
Order acknowledged.
He's the one that can't shoot.
Another one bites the dust.
I think Beast took the kill off of you, but you know, whatever. So these are forests. You cannot shoot through these unless you have missile weapons. You can shoot through this. You still have line of sight through the half trees here. You can run through. But the full trees, you cannot run through, you cannot shoot through unless you have LRMs or SRMs. I'm coming over here because there's the first salvage of the game.
No problem, sir.
Now with these turrets, we're actually not going to use the commandos because commandos only have short-range weapons. Lynx in the Firestarter has a PPC at medium range, so the turrets cannot shoot back. Oh, I can't bring them up here. I was trying to load them. I think they have a laser or two.
No problem, sir.
By default, he will not close distance because he knows that his best gun is the PPC. The ranges of your weapon will actually determine the behavior of your pilot. If the majority of their damage is at long range, then they'll just sit at long range and shoot. So whatever their highest DPS is the range that they will prefer. So Lynx will sit back at medium range and fire this unless he loses it.
No problem, sir.
But if an enemy runs up to his face, then he'll use these others.
Building capture.
I haven't explained the UI much, but it's pretty simple. You have your map, and this is the data for whatever you have selected. So if I select a different guy, brings up the pilot, his status.
Beast here.
If he gets injured, it'll show him injured. We can look at the status of his mech, his weapons. If he loses a weapon, it'll shows his remaining ammo. Let's keep moving. I think the mountain is right here.
My sensors have a new contact. Heads up, I've got a new contact.
There's the gas tower and also the fuel truck. You do not want to be near these when they explode because they basically instantly destroy anything that's around them. They do so. The explosion damage is harder than AC-20 rounds. You can have like heavy and assault mechs just instant pop if they are near a fuel explosion. But we can use this to our advantage, however, because it's a laser turret here. If you time this right, you can get the fuel truck to take out the laser turret for you with the explosion. Let's see if we can do that. And we did it. See?
I'll do what I can.
Got some cars attacking us. They are of no real threat to us, but this is only the first mission in the game. Our guys will make quick work of them. Even the commandos are not going to struggle with cars.
Hawk reporting. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
They're reporting back. Still need to take out this.
Got it, sir.
You can see the different weapons. Lasers, missiles,
Hawk reporting. Enemy target destroyed.
little people running around on the ground. You can shoot them or step on them, but they don't count as a kill. You need kills in the game to increase your gunnery skill, but only red things on the map will count as kills. People on the ground don't count. Look how much vision we get running up the mountain here. It's quite a bit. You can actually see some of the next base. But before we go there, I'm actually going to go over here first. There's another salvage. I'm going to try to get all of the salvage in the game. So we got this one.
Picking up a new contact.
Another one over here. You can see there's 2 targets. When you're detecting enemies in the shroud, we don't know what those are. Let's go investigate.
This is Hawk. My sensors have a
We're gonna
new
walk
contact.
so it's more dramatic instead of running in there. J. Edgars.
I'll do what I can.
These are actually tanks. They're much tougher than the little cars. They carry 2 Clanner pulse lasers.
This is one less enemy crawler.
The clan weapons are better than the regular weapons, so those lasers are better than our lasers. But they only have 2, and we can still take them down without much of a fuss.
This is the beast. Another one bites the dust.
We're taking the resource bunker.
Pass the building.
This game is all about salvage. You're not going to have much credits for the store, and the store is limited on what it'll sell you. You also cannot buy clan tech, so you need to salvage as much stuff as you can. Click the salvage tab here. You can see what we've gotten so far. 2 LRM racks, 2 lasers. Nothing fancy, but definitely helps. If we look at the briefing, objective 1, success, incomplete on these 2. Time to attack the next objective. We aggroed the car. Here it comes.
Beast here. Uh-oh. New contact.
I'm gonna make quick work of them though.
This is Hawk. I'm taking enemy fire. Reporting. Vehicle
The
destroyed.
pilot actually got out, but we're not going to worry about them.
I have a new sensor trace.
Another turret.
No
I'm just
problem.
going to outrange it with a
Who
PVC.
wants some of this?
You have to pay for your repairs in this game, so don't take damage that you don't need to. If a turret can't shoot at you beyond short range and you have medium or long range weapons, then there's no point getting shot at. Notice that we have a new type of detection here. There's actually an enemy circle. That's an enemy radar range. That means that this is most likely a mech, or it could be a Swiftwind, which has a sensor on it. If you detect something that has a sensor, then you'll see their sensor as well. And he can currently see us, because we are within his sensor. Most enemies, when you get within their sensor, they'll come running to take you out. But other times, enemies are not aggressive and you have to get closer to them. So he doesn't really want to fight us. But this is only the first level in the game. I'm going to send in my A variant, because he has more armor. Let him get the attention. There we go.
They're coming after me.
Try and put the damage on your A variants because they've got the more armor. Put that armor to use. Whereas my W commando just has tissue paper. Now this is a mech, so he's going to take longer to go down. And he's also an A variant with armor. But it is 3-on-1. You can see he's getting ripped to fucking bits. Got him going down. There he went.
That takes care of him.
Boom. I think we have to take out all 3 of these. Destroy all 3 garrison buildings, yep. From this point on, each mission is going to be its own video, so this is not going to be another 1 hour. Unless a mission takes me an hour to complete, that's not going to happen again.
Wait there, I have a new sensor trade.
We have another sensor. Sports car, or no, it's just a car. We'll give that to Hawk. This will count as a kill because it's red on the map. So anything that shows up red will count as a kill. Hawk really needs the gun. Oh wow, they stole it off him.
One less enemy crawler.
I tried to give it to Hawk anyway. I'm not going to bother with a little guy running wherever he went. There's another fuel tank. If there's an enemy near that and you shoot the tank, you blow up the enemy as well. You want to make sure that you're not near it. There are some missions in the game where the enemies will actually aim for the fuel tanks if you are near them, and that can really ruin your day. You don't want to fight near those. Okay.
Hawk reporting. My sensors have a new contact.
New contact. They will constantly report in when they detect things or when they fight, when they get kills, when they take damage. So it's pretty cool. I forgot what this is. It's a little truck. Or a car, actually. Shoot it.
I'll do what I can. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
We have another turret. Probably,
No problem, sir.
I believe that's the last one on the level. I'm just going to cheese it. No reason to take damage. You have to pay for your repairs. So this is less money that I have to spend when I get back to the hangar. And one thing I forgot to show off was the zoom.
Link here.
You can actually zoom in, get a closer look at things. A smashed car. We have our fire starter. Commando. This was very neat at the time because in the 90s you could not do this on hardly any game. I think Warcraft 3 might have been one of the first RTS games to do it. You couldn't do it in any Westwood or Blizzard title, I think. But you're not going to fight like this anyway because it's too close to see anything. Unless 2 mechs are like right in front of each other. But it is cool to check out the mechs sometimes. Even though the colors of the Federated Sun are red and gold, the first Avion Guards actually uses blue and gray. So that's why we're blue and gray, just like the shield. The emblem is blue and gray. Almost done with the first mission. Looks like it'll be around 20 minutes. So now we have what looks like another mech and a lot of other sensor targets. Now the objective, the mission warned us about a older Clan Omni mech. And if you look closely, you can see that there's an ant crawling on me. Come on, get off. If you look closely at the radar range, you can see that his is actually a bit wider than ours. That's because he's using a Clan sensor, which is superior range to our Inner Sphere sensors. He's also fully loaded with Clan weapons, which are better than all of our Inner Sphere weapons. But it's still 3-on-1, and our mechs are all in good shape. He doesn't stand much of a chance. I'm going to send in our A variant again. Try and get his attention. Then we'll bring in the other guys.
Getting shot at.
This guy will constantly try to run away from you because the majority of his weapons are at medium or long range. If we look here, look at all the weapons he's got compared to us. He's a clan mech. 2 medium range lasers and ultra. Clanner weapons are different than ours, but look at that later. Trying to look at this. See, there we go. It's getting torn apart. He's trying to get away. Most of his build is focused on medium and long range with this auto cannon, so he's trying to run away until he can shoot. We're going to keep him close up because then we have the advantage. All he'll have are these 2 weapons. And the C here means clan. Clanner version is better than the Inner Sphere version for any weapon. This is the regular clan laser, but it's actually at medium range, whereas ours is short range, and it weighs less. This is the clan streak, which weighs less than the Inner Sphere version. All of the clan weapons weigh less, and some of them have other advantages. Their energy weapons actually have a better range. And this is a Clanner Ultra AC5, which he fit on a light mech. That's a 30-ton light mech, and he has all of that. So they are pretty well armed compared to us. And then he had a clan sensor basic. Alright, this is the last objective, so as soon as I take this out, that's it.
I'll do what I can.
All these other vehicles here.
Mission objective complete.
Enemy target
Mission
destroyed.
successful.
I forgot to mention those other vehicles. They don't have any crew, so they do not count as kills. There was no point to shooting them.
Computation for low drop weight.
So now we have the score sheet. You can see skill ups across the board. Hawk actually got most of the kills, which is great because he needs the skill up. Yellow is how much we went up. They'll eventually get rank promotions. Now you can see what we salvaged. Oh wow, we got the commando and the Uber. However, I'm not going to have that commando. I pre-saved salvage from the first 6 levels of the game to give myself a good starting arsenal in the campaign. The game uses random salvage, and I didn't want to get screwed by that. 5 tons underweight because we were 80 out of 85. So you get 1,000 RP for every 5 tons underweight. Here's the 3 objectives. That's our total earned, 11,000, which isn't very much money, I can assure you. Now we're up to mission 2. And now what I was saying about saves is I actually pre-saved after the first 6 levels in the game because I wanted to ensure that I had a decent starting arsenal and not get screwed by the RNG. So that salvage that I just showed you is not what I have. I actually only got the Uller when I pre-saved. I can't keep this save now or I would lose all of the follow-up ones, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather just toss that commando. So here is my pre-save. You see I have the Uller. So I still have the other 3 mechs. I did not repair the fire starter since I'm not taking him into the next mission. I re-equipped the Uller. But you see, the thing is, this game's kind of like the newer XCOMs, where you need to have a good streak the first part of the game to set yourself up. And it's like that with the salvage in this game. So if you play the first 6 levels in this game and you don't salvage anything, you can get screwed. Then you won't have enough money to buy what you need, and you won't have enough mechs to drop with. You can be screwed. So there is a degree of save scumming in this game where you can replay a level, 10 times until you salvage the mech that you want. It's just a random roll whether you get it or not. I don't want to do that for the entire campaign, but I'm definitely going to do it for the first 6 missions, because that's the first operation. See, now we're up to 1-2. Operation 1, Mission 2. So I've decided that the first 6 levels should be sufficient. If you want to see the list of mechs I'm going to get, they are right here. Uller. So the first mission had an Uller and a Commando. I got the Uller when I pre-saved. The second mission has a Highlander and 2 Commandos. I got the Highlander and 1 of the 2 Commandos. So this is all the mechs that I'm going to get from the first 6 levels, and I'm guaranteed to get these because I pre-saved before I started recording. I could just save scum the entire game, but I'm only doing it for the first 6 missions. After that, what you see in the video is what I'm going to get, and I'm only going to play a mission like once when I record it. Unless I do terrible, then I just want to restart it for performance. But if I do that, the mission will not be completed. So when I complete a mission, I'll just be moving on to the next one regardless of whatever I get. So from my pre-saves, I'm going to have a nice amount of light mechs. See, Uller, Commando, Commando, Firestarter, Uller, a Cougar, which is another clan mech. I'll have 2 mediums, Highlander, Hunchback, and I'll have 1 heavy at the very end. That's a nice good mixture of mechs, which should be enough to get me through the rest of the game without having to save scum as much. So for the first 6 missions, I'm just going to be loading these. I'm not going to be, using what you see at the end of a mission. I'll just be loading my saves. But after the 6th mission, when I get up to here, from that point on, I'll just be going from mission to mission without, saving anymore. What you see at the end of the screen from that point on is what I'll get. But until then, I'm going to be loading these, and this is what I will have, regardless of what you see at the end on the salvage list. Okay. So I got this less than 30 minutes. That's good. That's what I wanted. See you in the next mission.